Welcome to ET Auto. Today we have Mr. Kuldeep Singh Dhingra, who has been a dreamer in life and achieved all that he has dreamt in his lifetime. One of the most humble and smartest businessmen I have interacted so far in my 2 decades of business journalism. Today I introduce Mr. Kuldeep Singh Dhingra, the chairman of Berger Paints, to the Economic Times audiences. And ET Auto is privileged to have Mr. Kuldeep Singh Dhingra as his guest today, here where we interact about the Indian economy, the automotive industry, and what is in store as we brace the COVID times together. Welcome to ET Auto, Mr. Dhingra. Thank you so much for sparing your time.
Thank you, Chanchal.
Uh, so in the first instance, I wanted to understand from you, sir, that the rich experience you have in terms of managing business and trading company, now a manufacturing company. How has been the challenges through the COVID times? The coronavirus had huge issues, problems, especially with regard to manufacturing. And you have a huge workforce, both India and overseas, for manufacturing. How this crisis, especially in times that we have so many protocols with regard to social distancing, maintaining all those regulations that different state and central governments are giving. How has been the challenge so far?
Oh, it's been a very challenging period, yeah, Chanchal.
Yes, sir.
And but having been in the industry for now over 50 years, and also as a in the paint business, I'm the fourth generation. The paint business is from 1898, and so we know about what happened in First World War, what happened in Second World War, what happened in partition. So these kind of crises they come, and this is another very unprecedented disruption to be started in March over here. So, but we'll deal with it, and so therefore we continue to be optimistic. We look ahead, and of course we follow all the standard operating, the procedures, and we are being very careful. And in detail, I'll tell you our workers, our employees at all our factories, workplaces, by and large, there has been no such issue. So we will deal with it. We are hopeful for the future. March was bad in the sense that last 10 days we lost. April was zero. May it started. And then we started seeing an improving trend from May onwards after unlock phase one started. You asked about automotives. The personal vehicle category, namely cars and two wheelers, showed progressive improvement from May to June and onwards. It's getting better and better. Thereafter, these segments are improving. However, the commercial vehicle category, in which we are a major player, has not picked up adequately. Up to July, we were short by 10 to 15% compared to last year, but we are hopeful of making up. So it's okay. We look at future and we are optimistic about the future. Things are only getting better now. I think the worst is behind us.
So as we enter the festive period, do you expect that we would be close to normalcy? How do you see this happening, especially in the right that you are a critical part of the supply chain? Automotive industry, paint plays a very critical role. How do you see how close we are to the normal conditions in terms of market recovery?
Things are getting better. I cannot share numbers with you because of the regulations. But what I'll say is that things are looking better, and we are seeing a improving trend. Month on month, we are seeing an improving trend, and we expect things to get better from now onwards till the end of the year, provided COVID is kept under control and there are no further lockdowns and any unexpected surprises. Otherwise, things are looking good now.
So Berger Paint is a major supplier in the industrial segment and especially two-wheelers and all. What is the outlook from the OEMs, from the manufacturers? What kind of 2, 3 months of supply order do you see coming from the OEMs and manufacturers?
See, with many people losing jobs in this pandemic and with cuts in salaries in some cases, people are presently hesitant to spend on expensive items like cars. the general tendency of the people is to conserve money. On the other hand, due to the fear of the virus, many people are reluctant to use public transport and are planning to buy their own two own cars or two wheelers. So the two forces are acting against each other. It is therefore very difficult to judge what will be the end result of these two countervailing forces. As mentioned earlier, sales for personal vehicles has been increasing gradually month on month. From May, demand has improved gradually, and in July, we were nearly 80 to 85% of last year. We hope by end October, we will be able to touch last year's figures. And from then onwards, hopefully, we may be able to grow. However, commercial vehicles category is likely to remain in the doldrums for the next few months with no signs of revival so far. General industries too have started improving its performance month on month and should start growing from September. From this already from September, we are seeing very good growth. Finally, when the vaccines come in, as is being hoped for, and if the fear factor goes away from consumers' mind, then we can expect growth rates to further improve. And there is the latest news that by end February 21, the pandemic may be under substantial control. So this is the good news we saw. You all saw that by February 21, things should be much better in our country.
As a global company, so because you have manufacturing operations overseas also, and you have trading, Russia, Nepal. So how do you see the challenges in those countries, and as an international entity, how you has been able to manage your overseas operations?
We are taking all precautionary measures which are required to be taken to keep our employees' lives safe and ensure that there is lesser disruption in the factories and offices. All at the factories, we have staggered arrival and departure time for our employees so that there is no congregation at the entry and exit gates at any point of time. We are using thermal guns for measuring temperatures of each employee entering the factory, use of sanitizer, wearing of mask, and maintaining social distancing has become a must for which certain work practices had to be modified. All mass use places, including washrooms, canteens, etc., are sanitized regularly. Vehicles which ferry the workers and staff are sanitized on a daily basis. Repeated awareness sessions are being held involving all employees to make them aware of the safety practices which they need to follow not only in the workplace but also at home to avoid any infection. So far, there has been no major outbreak in any of our factories, both in India and abroad. All our factories are operational as of today. Most of the workers have come back and joined duty, and almost the entire production load is being manufactured without any shortfall from the month of June onwards. In the offices, we have reduced manpower load, and those availing public transport mostly working from home. Even those who have their own vehicle come on alternate days to keep the office load low. We had a few cases of infection, but we were able to contain the spread due to these measures taken by us. All employees are safe as of today, and all our offices are also operational.
So as we enter festive period, India, especially for paints, the Dussehra, Diwali, and the entire festivity is the biggest time for business. People paint their houses. Everything is in a new flora fauna, especially when they look at welcoming the festivities of this season. How has the paint business been, sir, this year if we compare it to last year for Berger?
Season is still on, it's
Yes,
still
sir.
work in progress, but we are seeing very good traction, especially in smaller cities, smaller towns, rural areas. There is little bit resistance in the metros, Bombay, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune. So these metros, the big cities have this problem, but the small cities have it's looking very good, and the growth is quite good, and the business is quite brisk.
And sir, have you been able to launch something new in the festive season for Berger paints? Especially because every festive season there are certain things that the companies bring in as new marketing initiatives. Has there been anything that has been introduced by Berger this year just to tap on the latent or the pent-up demand?
A lot. What we have done is we have first of all we have this Berger Express painting. Now we call it safe and quick painting, and with the all the painters are actually checked, and with their Arogya Setu, and the temperature is checked, and they have to wear mask, and carry sanitizers with them. They clean. So basically, we have made a full kit for them, and they are able to, it's very safe for them, and people can feel safe that if painters come and work in their homes, they are safe. They clean it up. So we made very very strong effort there, and it's very very professional, meaning the painters will leave your house. Actually, the it's much more sterilized and cleaner than the thing, and there is no risk taken, and the total monitoring is there. Also, we've started making sanitizers and home hygiene, some things for cleaning, etc. So we have during this due to this pandemic, we have made a new range of products.
So you have diversified into sanitizers and other new categories, sir?
Yes, we have. because
Okay.
because it was needed. We needed to follow those for our painters, etc., all of them, or our workers, and sanitizer. No, I mean, there's so much need. It's a sanitizer, and we are totally connected with, as far as the painters are concerned. People will only let them enter their homes if they are clean. So we made a lot of attention on this safety and hygiene, personal hygiene, etc. And they are so that people can, allow the painter to enter their flats or homes without any fear.
Sir, if we take into account, sir, it's almost 7 months that we have been bracing this pandemic. How do you see the Indian economy, sir, coming back in the scenario that the economy has been picking up for the past, at least for the fortnight? There are very positive news coming that general demand is doing good. There were sales by the e-commerce companies. Some of the products were virtually sold out, and paint remains a very lucrative business, especially this time of the year. So, for the Indian economy, if you have an understanding, sir, how do you see the recovery happening, sir?
See, as things stand today, and as per the trends so far, we are hopeful that the demand cycle will become positive in the upcoming festival period. We are noticing that. The rains have been good. Measures taken by the government to allow farmers to sell their produce to the highest bidder is likely to boost farmer income. Rural demand has held up so far and will improve going forward. Urban centers should also bounce back gradually. That is a little bit of an issue, but we are hopeful gradually they'll also bounce back. The conflict between China and USA has also resulted in some of the companies wanting to shift base to India, which should also generate employment and boost economic growth of the country. The encouragement by being given by the government to the Indian industry through the Atma Nirbhar Bharat program should also help domestic manufacturing and service industries to do better than what they have done so far. The second half, therefore, should be much better. We are quite optimistic about the Indian economy going forward.
And sir, coming to employment, sir, as you said, as for Berger and your allied companies, sir, are you making new hirings? Are you expanding the workforce? Is there a demand for more people as the manufacturing increases?
We are putting up a very big plant in Uttar Pradesh in Sandila. It's a big project. Work has started over there. So definitely we will be employing people for our big plant in Lucknow, and otherwise also we have not reduced workforce during this pandemic. Nobody's been asked to go or anything like that. And wherever needed, we may have increased people also. So therefore, yes, we are hopeful of providing more and more employment, starting with our big plant in Uttar Pradesh.
And sir, beyond domestic, sir, for overseas, how's it going, sir? You have a facility in Europe, then you have operations in Nepal and Russia. How's the overseas operations going?
Poland is going rather well. In fact, we were surprised that they have not been affected by pandemic. It's very interesting. So the growth over there is much more than last year. Up to end September, I have the results, and so they have done. Poland is done very very well, and also our company in Poland exports to many countries. All of them have done all very well wherever we export, except in the UK. So that is the only one. Now Nepal has been affected like India has been affected, maybe a little bit even more than that. Bangladesh has also been affected like India, but again coming back like India, meaning we are expecting that that by the end of the year, then things will be quite okay. So Nepal has been little slow, but also getting better. So this is Russia was okay, was going okay, but now again I was talking to them, and again there is a second wave of pandemic there, so little bit slowed down, but not worse than India or anything. It's been better than Russia has held out better than India or Bangladesh or Nepal.
Okay. So, in the end, I know for sure that you have seen so many kind of crises in your life all through, and as an industrial person, as a corporate honcho, you have seen many, especially when you were dealing with Russia, where you were one of the largest exporters to Russia. So you have seen many challenges and many situations which were unprecedented in the past. How do you see this pandemics coming out, and especially, is there any silver lining? Is there any kind of a growth or a new trend you are seeing that is very positive for the Indian economy, as for a big entrepreneur like you, and for India as a country?
Now uh, the the knowledge about this is much more than when it first came. So, and also how to protect yourself. There is a lot of knowledge people have now gained over these months from March onwards, and that is useful. People are being careful. People are doing, maintaining social distancing by and large. People are wearing masks. Sanitizers are being used, and so therefore, and also if somebody gets, infected with COVID, lot of them are getting cured at home, and otherwise whatever treatment is there, it will be known. So what I'm saying is that the worst is behind us. It's just going to get better and better, and then vaccine will come. So I'm an optimist, in this matter, because I think the worst is behind us, and future looks fine.
So I always read this book many a times. Thrice I have gone through this. You are the unstoppable. So if we say that you are the unstoppable, what has been your unstoppable kind of spree, your unstoppable trade during this pandemic? At this age, I know you work at least 16, 17 hours a day. So what has been the silver lining for you as a company person, as a person who has grown on his own, and you have lived your dream?
I'm 73 years old, but once the lockdown when the lockdown was lifted from 4th May, I've been coming regularly to office. I've
Okay.
not missed one day, so I've not worked from home or anything. It's like a habit, etc. And I enjoy it. But of course, I take all the safety precautions. But I carry on working, and I will not stop.
Okay. And sir, my last question that I would like to get an understanding and a feeler from you. How do you see 2021 panning out? You have a rich experience of life and business. What is your outlook and projections? What can we expect next year? There's a likelihood of the vaccine coming out and people will have a bit more safer times. But for business, what is your projections for 2021?
2021 or 21-22?
So 21-22.
21-22. 21-22, of course, will be better and better. Even 2021, we will cover up a lot of ground, and because there's still few months to go, and things are already looking better. And 21, 22 will be very high, very good growth. We are very hopeful, and that's why, in fact, we decided to expedite the progress in this UP plant, in our Uttar Pradesh plant. We just decided we should put it on fast track because we are quite bullish about 21, 22.
And so, what kind of investment will flow into? Are your capex investments intact for the next fiscal year?
I don't know, for this plant, I think we about 4 to 500 crores or something. The one
Oh,
in phases, of course, in the Uttar Pradesh plant, I think it's 500 over a period of time.
okay. So you remain optimistic, sir, as we brace through this pandemic?
Yes, yeah, I'm optimistic. I've been optimistic throughout. I was not pessimistic at any point of time, although sometimes I felt my optimism was a little misplaced, but I never became a pessimist or anything. I've been quite optimistic, and therefore I've been coming to office, working, planning for the future, planning for growth, making new products. There are lots of new products we have developed in this period.
So, is there anything in automotive, sir, that we will see the advent of electric vehicles, the batteries will require something new, and you are discussing with regard to new products. Is there anything, sir, you are planning to develop with regard to next generation of automotive and vehicles?
We keep improving, but as far as paint is concerned, this is the thing about paint industry. It's chemistry, and it's very dynamic. It's changing every changing all the time. Unless you improve, you can't survive. Paint is a very competitive business. One of the most competitive businesses, I think. And so one has to keep improving products, new range, and technology wise, always be ahead to survive. So yes, we are developing all the time paints, and if the electric cars come, the paint used will be the same, meaning it's the same, etc. And even if they at any point they from metal they switch to plastic, we have coatings for plastics, surface coatings we are in surface coatings business, and we have coating for all kinds of surfaces. So we are not at all apprehensive or scared about electric cars coming. In fact, it may give a boost to our paint business.
So thank you so much for your time, Mr. Kuldeep Singh Dhingra. I appreciate your time, and I wish you safety ahead and a great festive period.
Thank you very much, Angel. Thank you. It's been very nice talking to you. You're always
All,
welcome.
thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you.